Memories are tricky things. Sometimes there's only a blurred image in your mind of buried, long forgotten nostalgia, a fraction of what once was. Without a name to put to this memory, you begin to question its own validity and wonder if you'll ever discover what it was. But I was determined to prove its existence. For the past half year or so, I've been stuck on this one memory about soup. Of all things, I know, but specifically of a Flash advert game relic with a tie-in promotion for a sweepstakes contest. That's all I knew going into this search, and you'd think it'd be easy knowing that this was for a contest, but apparently soup contests aren't well archived for some reason. Unfortunately, I also wasn't sure if I was supposed to be searching for soup promotions or perhaps ravioli, spaghettios, or something else that came in a can. I knew that it was a can for sure, but then the main question was what brand? Campbell's and Chef Boyardee were the first to come to mind, so I searched archives of their sites. And I ran into a lot of dead ends that way. I was guesstimating the contest and subsequent marketing to be around 2005, 2006 to 2009. So that's the time frame I mainly looked at. Also, I had a faint memory of a TV commercial where kids won a trip to an island and they would whitewater raft. I specifically thought this commercial aired on Nickelodeon for some reason, so I mainly looked at a lot of commercial compilations on YouTube, specifically Nickelodeon ones. Combing through hours of compilation videos proved to be unfruitful. I was beginning to think there was no game out there, no contest at all. There was nothing on the Lost Media Wiki that seemed to resemble it. Either I had a memory of something that was truly lost, or I was living in an alternate universe. Granted, there is the fact that I could have not been looking hard enough. So I gave my mission a rest for a while. And then a few days ago, I decided to pick it back up again. I went to Internet Archive, and there it was, right in front of my face. I finally had a name for both the website and the contest. So my next objective was to search for it on the Wayback Machine. And I discovered that the entire website was coded in Flash. I was looking for a Flash game after all, so I should have been prepared for this. Lucky for us, Ruffle exists. No, not the chip brand. But there is an extension that you can add on to your Chrome browser, and that's what I did. Lo and behold, the website loaded perfectly through the Wayback Machine.
This summer I went to camp.
I saw a parade.
I had this big mansion with a butler who did whatever we said. A personal chef who made us Campbell's chicken noodle soup whenever we wanted. A swimming pool with a waterfall and tons of video games.
If you play Campbell's SouperStar Mansion, this summer you and 3 friends can win a week at a mansion and live the celebrity life. Find the code on the can, then ask your parents to go to mysoup.com to enter. Many will enter, one will win. Free entry and rules online at mysoup.com.
Campbell's, it's got the goods.
From 2003 to 2009, Campbell's ran a campaign sweepstakes targeted towards young children. It began with just a Malibu mansion, where one lucky child would stay for a week with 3 friends, and adult supervision, of course. It was decked out with a personal chef, maid, and a butler. Most of the promotional material we see is surrounded around this mansion theme. On the site, there was a game where you drove a limousine and collected soup cans. Now, whether or not the actual contest included a limousine, I can't be too sure about. But this game really helped solidify the contest theme of living it big. Anyone between the ages of 6 and 15 could enter for a chance to win. While there was no purchase necessary, consumers were encouraged to input codes found on the bottom of soup cans to enter into instant win games. I distinctly recall an animation playing every time you would enter a code. A child would slurp the soup and then would reveal with alphabet letters whether or not you won. I don't have any concrete evidence or photos of this animation, so this is purely memory based. Following the success of the mansion giveaway, Campbell's then held another promotion for an English-style castle where one could live as royalty. The next year was an island giveaway to the Caribbean. By this point, the company had already reported to have spent $450 million on these promotions alone. I personally think it did help their brand recognition a lot among the younger demographic, who were now turning more toward interactive games on the web. While you couldn't raise a little can of soup to compete in the Battle Dome, you could play some games that encouraged you to spend more time with their branding. Now, I went into this search because I'm interested in all things lost media, specifically if it relates to the internet and my own nostalgia. I knew this existed, and I wanted to see if anyone out there had archived the Flash Limousine game that I remembered so fondly. Unfortunately, using the Wayback Machine, you do end up with a lot of dead links and redirects, especially if it was a game or element with the source code that wasn't copied. So I was completely discouraged by this and thought there was no way it was archived in any capacity, especially considering the Flash archive projects we hear so much about now didn't start picking up steam until the 2010s and before the great 2020 discontinued the software. But much to my surprise, I didn't have to look far. Souped Up was uploaded to the Y8 site in 2009, so if you have a Flash emulator like Ruffle, you can go to the site now and still play it. As far as the other games go, I haven't been able to find a trace of them. I honestly now have more questions than answers. There was apparently a game on Cartoon Network where you would navigate through a maze collecting soup cans. I can't find a lick of this game anywhere, which is even more disappointing because this is probably how I learned about the promotion, being a huge fan of Cartoon Network at such a young age and all. The mansion giveaway was the one most heavily advertised among the three I've mentioned so far. There was also SouperStar Hawaii in 2007. It got some screen time and a site redesign. But of course, there were the instant win games, which I don't have much information on, sorry. The sweepstakes began in 2003 under SouperStar Fantasy, where you were given the choice to meet Mandy Moore or go to the Super Bowl with your favorite NFL player. So the smaller giveaways weren't spend a week somewhere, more like a day, but these still seemed like really cool prizes back then. As far as laws around contests are concerned, I'm not the most knowledgeable. Heck, I won a mountain bike when I was 3 years old by complete accident, and my family doesn't even remember entering my name. I haven't won anything since then. Karma, I guess. So I'm not the best when it comes to legalities of contests. According to one blog, the parents would have to claim the total amount of the prize on their taxes, which isn't that too much of a big deal considering that this is pretty much the rule for all sweepstakes promotions. You were also given about $10,000 in cash to help pay the tax liability. But I can imagine some parents out there might not be too keen on letting their kids go to a website to enter into some type of contest that they would then have to sign off on and do all the tax stuff. I know my parents would not be happy if I had won this.
With Campbell's Chicken and Star Soup, your mouth will blast off.
Twinkle, twinkle, Campbell's Chicken and Stars. Oh, what a rockin' soup you are. Chicken and Stars. Worth looking at this for.
Wow. Campbell's Chicken and Star Soup, out of this world.
In fall of 2006, the site revamped to advertise their new characters and add new games. To me, this became the merger of mysoup.com and myslurp.com. More so, they were trying to retire the MySoup branding completely and move their kids' site to the MySlurp domain, which I personally don't understand. MySoup was a way better name. Now, this didn't mean the end of their sweepstakes contests. Some were still called SouperStar, while others were now called SouperStakes, which is just kind of cringe. The contests from the late 2000s weren't as imaginative in my opinion. They were simple Orlando trips. They did not include a personal chef or a large mansion, which were the main gimmicks to me. MySlurp.com had its own range of flash games and interactive content, none of which seemed to have moved over from MySoup.com, so the limousine game is gone. Everything I remember and was nostalgic about was wiped when they revamped to MySlurp.com. Then, shortly, in summer of 2010, the MySlurp website became defunct. All remnants of the flash games, wallpapers, login, everything was completely gone. It now redirects you to Soup, which is not flash games. I just want flash games. In 2021, you'd be surprised to know that both websites technically still exist. MySoup.com now redirects you straight to Campbell's site, so that means they're still paying for this domain. Same goes for MySlurp.com. They still pay for it, but for some reason it brings you to their condensed soup page. Now, I don't think this means anything, and I don't think they have any plans on using the domain anytime in the future, especially not for interactive kids content. But do with this information what you will. This video was supposed to be about vague memories and the corresponding unidentified media, but I think it's just as interesting to look at this from a psychological marketing standpoint. The 2000s were rampant with these kinds of sweepstakes and contests. Companies were desperate to engage their consumers. And kids were an easy target for this kind of advertising, leading to quite a bit of criticism. Children aren't exactly the smartest bunch. So saying many will enter, few will win is pretty deceptive. Just how many people are entering? And what are the odds of you actually winning? But these companies don't really care about the ethics, or even rewarding the customer for that matter. They just want more sales. And you are the consumer. Without you, they wouldn't be in business. You are just another statistical sale. Their advertising and marketing is just to sell you on you. On you participating in whatever deals they have going on, whatever contest it may be. They want you to participate. And kids, well, I fell for it. I went to this website, and yes, it was advertisement. It was an advert game, but I remember it fondly. And now I have mixed feelings about it. I was a victim of this marketing tactic. I like to think that I'm not one of those people to fall for quick and easy marketing schemes, but my child self was an idiot. In a future video, I do plan to focus more on advert games and the ethics behind it, but for this one, I just want to come away with remembering the contest that Campbell's put out, and I'm curious if anyone out there in the comment section has won any of these prizes, went on a trip, or even just got an MP3 player. I am excited to know what the experience was like. Also, if any of you remember playing the games on either website, having a login or whatever, if I can't be the only one out there that enjoyed this when I was really young, I just thought driving a limo was really cool, I guess. And of course, there is still a lot to learn about this topic. There are games that I can't find and are basically lost media. Also, this commercial that I mentioned earlier about whitewater rafting, I do believe it was the Hawaii contest commercial. I literally only found a screen recording that someone recorded with their phone of a YouTube video, and I can't find the original YouTube video anywhere, so that commercial is pretty much lost to my knowledge. If anyone can find that, that would really tie this whole video together, in my opinion. Yeah, so if you're interested in lost media, I think this is interesting to just dive into and think about.
Ever dream of living like the ridiculously rich? Long hours by the pool, a personal butler tending to your every need.
Your unnecessarily expensive chocolate-covered pineapple syrup.
Well, now you can with Campbell's. Go to CartoonNetwork.com to play the Campbell's Amazing Mansion game. Collect Campbell's soup cans to gain access to the Ritzy Mansion and get free Citations. Then find out how to enter Campbell's SouperStar Mansion promotion at MySoup.com, where you could win the chance to live like a filthy rich for a week. So live it up like a fat cat with Campbell's and CartoonNetwork.com.